All right, another update on the Mycenter 3. What I have here is it's upside down like we discussed. We put the Turcite on the bottom here because that was what was worn out. Remember I told you before Kitagawa had this little cutout. We don't do the cutout, we machined it, we laid the Turcite flat. You can see that's a hole for the lubrication. Once I'm all said and done, we're gonna do the zigzag, so then that way it's got oil throughout the way surface. So then that way, you know, everything gets lubed up properly. That's just how they're done throughout, you know, all industry. Almost similar to this, where you got the cutout here. You can see we're prepping this one. This would be for the binders. So then that way it pulls it tight to the slide for the table axis. But so we got this. Over here is our parallels on our Granite plate. What we did is we dike them up blue. We'll give this thing a little bit of a push, and that way we want to make sure it's got perfect contact on the flats. And what we do is we reference off the bottom surface, because generally speaking, since this is upside down, the table falls down. So, you know, let's say it's up, if it was right side up, it falls down. So you typically get the least amount of wear there. Now you're kind of guessing a little bit to an extent, but within a couple thousandths. We still got to grind it, and we're going to make sure that the ball screw and everything else lines up great. Once we do set it up to be ground, it hasn't been done yet. But right up here you can see this is what we call the masterway. We're gluing the Turcite on here. Again, this is another 32 thousandths thickness. So he's doing this to get a jump start because we had some stuff on the way grinder. So might as well keep on working on this machine while we're doing some other stuff. And what this is crucial is we call it the master because that's our reference. So we want to make sure that this surface right here is a perfect 90 to the table axis. So then that way when you're cutting apart, when you're moving in and out, which would be your y-axis, and then you go left and right with your table, you have to be able to cut a perfect 90. And by re-gluing this, we're going to scrape this in to make sure it's trued up, and then we got to do a reference. So when we line up the top of the saddle and we grind it, we have to have a little fixture that we put on there to make sure it's dialed in perfectly. Once it is dialed in, we're going to go out to the facility and we're going to scrape this thing to make sure that the bedways are true to what we have. So we might move it a half thousandths, whatever the case is, in the field to make sure that we know that this machine is perfectly square. We do that with a Granite square, and that way, you know, when you reference off of it, it's perfect. So, and then right behind me here is the two Gibs. You can see we're gluing the Turcite as well. And I believe this is also 32 thousandths. So what we do is we just put pressure on here, and then tomorrow what we'll do is we'll trim it. And actually we have to wait for the table and stuff to be, we have to fit that out in the field for the most part. But this is where we're at with everything. This is what we do for any box weight machines. So if you guys have a problem with your machine tools, you know, we could take care of this, whether you guys take it off or we take it off, however you guys want to quote it. But when it comes to doing alignments, scraping and everything else, we do it all in-house. We share you guys videos just like this to kind of show you, hey, we're doing it, and this is the outcome, and you know, just a little bit of the process so you're involved with the machine tool. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Maybe tomorrow, actually no, not tomorrow, but the following day I'll be able to get this up on the way grinder and show you how we line this thing up, and we'll cut it. So stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.